This isn't a message passed down from a corner office.
It's not coming from a public relations memo.
This is who we are.
This is who we are.
This is who we are.
Hey, it's Joe Sorge, and welcome to Dreg Talk, where we roast the dregs of U.S. industry. Today's focus is that bottom feeder in the sky, Delta Airlines, and in particular, what they refer to as their first-class cabin. Do you ever think about using your frequent traveler miles to upgrade to first class? You know, splurge on one of those big, luxurious seats. Maybe you thought about upgrading on a red-eye flight so that you'd arrive refreshed in the morning. Well, I tried it recently. I took a red-eye flight on Delta Airlines from Honolulu to Salt Lake City. It left at around 9 p.m. and arrived in Salt Lake at around 6 a.m. So I thought, wow, upgrade to first class and get a good night's sleep. Well, as you might expect, it didn't work out. And here's why. Hey, I'm doing a podcast here of the Delta Airlines first class cabin with seats that don't recline on a 6-hour flight. This is the first class seat. This is the wall behind the first class seat so that the seat won't recline. Crazy, right? Well, here's what's more crazy. It takes 150,000 sky miles or $1,500 to buy that seat for a one-way flight. And here's what Delta's website says about these first-class seats. That they have up to 50% more seat recline and up to 8 inches of more legroom. I think that's really clever, you know? Using the words up to in case the real seat recline is 0%. Delta should give the lawyer who wrote that a promotion, don't you think? What if I started a beer company and wrote up to 12 ounces of beer in every bottle? Maybe you get some, maybe you won't. Maybe Delta would like to start serving it on some of their flights. But really, you'd hope that anyone who had any inkling about customer service at Delta Airlines would make sure that all of their seats reclined, especially for aircraft that fly overnight. Who are the engineers who designed that seat and the wall behind it? Didn't the flight attendants comment to management about the absurdity of selling a first-class seat that doesn't recline? Nope, not my job. What about the pilots? Did they ever inspect the cabin before taking off? Nope, not my job either. What about the CEO of Delta Airlines, Ed Bastian? Do you think he's looked inside the cabin of one of his airplanes? Government filings said he made $12.5 million last year. You think that's enough pay to check on your passengers, Ed? Or do you spend most of your time in a private jet? You know, the kind with those big, comfortable seats that Delta used to provide? I did some research to find out if other airlines offering overnight flights were as stingy as Delta. And I was amazed. Many foreign airlines offer private compartments, seats that fold out into beds, tasty food, a lounge with a bar, a valet, and get this, a bathroom with a shower. But Delta and the other American carriers are in a race to the bottom, like their cousins, the U.S. car companies. Jennifer Aniston sent a not-so-subtle message to Delta and the other American carriers in a commercial she did for Emirates Airlines. Let's take a look.
I know. Yeah.
Hi, I'm looking for the shower. There are no showers here, ma'am. Well, aren't I gonna look really silly dressed like this in the lounge? There's no lounge here, ma'am, but what we do have hot towels and a bag of peanuts. You have showers. Emirates planes have showers and lounges.
This isn't an Emirates plane, ma'am.
No. There's no shower? No. And you have no lounge? Why are you laughing like that? You're killing me. It was such a nightmare. I was on a plane and it was nothing like this.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you so much. Hey, is there someone that we can talk to about maybe flying this around a little bit longer before we land? It's like an hour.
But instead of taking that hint, Delta went on the offensive and claimed that providing customers with excellent service and amenities is unfair competition. Watch these clips from a video that Delta produced.
There's a battle being fought for our skies, and most people don't even realize it. 3 airlines from 2 countries the size of South Carolina are trying to take over international commercial aviation.
They're dumping seats into the market. We can't compete. They're running us out of our markets. They've done it in Europe, they've done it in Asia, they've done it in Australia, and the next stop for them is to do it in the US. It's not just the aircraft, it's the hotels, it's the limousines, it's the restaurants. the lounges that have been built around the product.
The newest airport in Dubai will be 5 times the size of O'Hare International Airport in a country that is, by any measure, tiny.
Delta doesn't want to give us more space on their aircraft. It's not profitable. They want to take space away. You know what wide-body means to Delta? It means an angry passenger who can't fit into one of their tiny seats. Here's what Delta's CEO has to say about wide-bodies.
Where are those wide-bodies going to go? If we don't wake up, we're going to wind up being overrun by them.
They're even looking at seating 11 passengers per row. They could just hire a priest and call it a church. Actually, if Delta had their way, we'd all be standing up on red-eye flights instead of sitting.
It's time to stand up now.
It's time to take a stand.
Right here.
Right now.
I get it, Delta. You're trying to provide economical air travel, and that's okay. But don't call your non-reclining seats and shit service first class. That's deceptive advertising. If you want to be honest, how about naming your front cabin almost as good as Russia's Aeroflot business class, but not quite? Or better yet, let's name it almost better than a cattle car. Or how about sardine class? Okay, maybe I'm being too critical. I know it's hard work squeezing more and more profits out of your customers for less and less service. You must be exhausted. Perhaps you need a little break. So take your shoes off, sit back and relax. We'd like you to watch a video before we take off.
Delta's been flying for a long time.
And no matter how many awards we receive,
or the recognition that we get,
we've never lost our drive to keep climbing.
To get better.
To treat every customer
as our top priority.
If things don't go as planned, our promise to you is this:
that no matter what happens,
we'll always put you first.
A delay or cancellation is our last resort.
That continuing to be better
is what we work towards every day.
And we don't just make promises.
We deliver on them.
Because our commitment is more than words.
It's action.
This
is who we are.
Now let us show you.
One Delta departure at a time.